All right. We are doing a fun little recording today. I thought about doing this as a stream, but I don't know. I feel like recording it, mostly because there are some things I don't want to really be showing on screen while I go over what I'm going over today, which is a discussion about WordPress or Blogger, and which website might be good for you depending on your use case. So, I could go into a pros and cons list and do this on the video, but I think there is actually an article that covers it fairly well. Now, granted, I will always say do more research on your own, but this article, and I'll provide a link to it in the description as well. This article kind of breaks down the big differences between WordPress and Blogger. Now, I've used both platforms. I like both platforms. They all have their use case, but WordPress is what I generally use heavily for my blogging, and it's what I'll recommend to most people. Blogger has its place, but this article actually brings this up as well. Google has a history of just turning off some of their services, just not offering them anymore. And because of that history, you never really know when Blogger might go down. Obviously they'll probably put some kind of release out to tell people that, hey, we're going to be going down, but at that point, why bother using Blogger at all? Now, one of the perks about Blogger is that it's obviously offered by Google, which means that a lot of their ads and just variety of features can actually be used on that website as well. So, analytics, analytics and different tools will just be there and ready for you to use. Now, keep in mind, Blogger hasn't been updated in a few years. And in fact, even now, when you go look at Blogger, it still looks like a fairly old application. And I actually have a little Blogger pulled up here, a little testing blog. They've been keeping it up well enough, but it's clearly not one of their favorite products. And I have heard rumors in the past about Google considering just shutting Blogger down because it's just not part of their desired tool set. It's not what Google really wants to get involved in, especially when there's alternatives like WordPress that just kind of own the market now. So anyway, what we're going to talk about today is mostly how to migrate from one blog platform to another. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a few posts here in Blogger. And if you're new to Blogger and you want to set up a new blog site, you basically just come in here and say, all right, I want to add a new blog. It's pretty straightforward. And they'll set you up with your own little domain. So if you go view this blog here, you'll see we have villainitetesting.blogspot.com. And yeah, Blogspot is Blogger. It's just what the domain they use. But it's pretty straightforward to set up a Blogger site if you really want to do it. Now, obviously, don't get confused by this. I use Chrome in dark mode, and it always has issues like this. Some websites just aren't set up for dark mode yet. Just you learn how to work around it, and there are ways that you can edit certain sites to look certain ways based on when you navigate to them, but I just don't have that in place right now. So anyway, let's go make a new blog post. Let's call this testing blog post. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to lipsum.com, I think. It's lipsum.com. Yep. We're just going to grab some 5 paragraphs. Let's do 10 paragraphs. I want a nice big blog post. Just going to grab all this. And we're going to paste as plain text. So already you see one of the common issues with a lot of blog platforms is you can paste a bunch of content, but then you have to come back and format it. Don't ever forget to do this. Otherwise, you will end up with blog posts that just kind of look like crap. And it doesn't matter. It's just that attention to detail that makes a blog a little bit more readable and enjoyable. You got to think about, what people are going to feel and think whenever they're reading your blog post. They've copied a lot of their platform layout from WordPress, to be honest. But at the end of the day, this is how a lot of tools look. I mean, you can make that argument for WordPress copying Word, Microsoft Word. So anyway, we're gonna publish this, confirm, and then let's make another one. Let's just make another post here. Another post. We're gonna say the second test. A shorter article. So we're gonna go back to Lipsum. And we're gonna grab a 5-paragraph, which you could have probably done the first time, but whatever. Same thing here. And the reason I do paste the plain text as plain text, if you sometimes on these platforms, if you paste just kind of straight out, what it'll do is it'll pull, especially if you're copy and pasting from like a website, it'll pull the HTML code from that website and try to use it as well. In fact, even Word, if you're dealing with like docx documents, a lot of people don't realize this, but docx documents at the very root of the level, root level of their structure, they're basically just XML, which is a form similar to a form of kind of scripting that's similar to, it's a form of markup language that's similar to HTML. But when you pull all that XML and all that kind of proprietary markup language, you pull in a bunch of stuff that even Blogger tries to kind of interpret. But if you just go in here and paste this plain text, it'll just, it's like grabbing it from Notepad, and it's exactly what you copied is exactly what we pasted. And you'll see that like even fonts changed because it was trying to pull the font from this website, but now it's using the default font instead. So always paste this plain text. Some of these kinds of content management tools, they'll have, let me see where it is. I don't see a paste option here, but some of them will have, when you paste, they'll actually have a paste from Word or paste from, HTML kind of option, where they'll kind of programmatically parse out what you don't need. But honestly, when Google released this feature in Chrome, I lost my mind because I was ecstatic. I think it needed to exist. So it's just a great feature to use. Anyway, we're gonna paste this one. I'm gonna publish. All right, good. And then let's make a page, just a regular old web page. And this will be maybe homepage. And this will be, we're gonna come in here and say, all right, now I want, oh, you know what? I want Lorem Ipsum kitchen sink. And there is a really great kitchen sink that you can grab. Instead, here's a big old dump of the same kind that I snagged from another site. That is not what I wanted. And yes, I use the internet in very big mode because I usually use my 4K monitor. I'm streaming it, or I'm recording all of this on the 1080 monitor. So this is obviously a bunch of HTML. Oh, I know why. So HTML Ipsum. I think this is the one. Wow, they really changed their website. Oh, this is kind of the one. Yeah, this is the one. This one has a bunch of stuff that you can paste. Now, let's see. One thing about Blogger is I don't know if you can edit HTML directly. Clear formatting. Oh, that's another thing you can do. Clear formatting. After you paste a bunch of stuff, you can just highlight and clear the formatting. Same thing as pasting as plain text, but just doing it after the fact. Let's see. There is no... I feel like there might be a way to do HTML, just like actually putting HTML into the page, but I don't want to really look for it right now. So probably not a great example now that I think about it. Instead, let's just go back to regular lorem ipsum. So let's just get some more. Oh, these are nice 5 big paragraphs. Alright, get rid of these extra spaces because they look bad. And publish. Alright, so now if we go look at our blog, we'll see that we have the 2 pages, or the 2 posts. They're there. You can go in there, you can look at them, you can comment. Just kind of comment right away. Now, one thing we don't see is our page. We don't see the page anywhere, which is kind of strange. So if we go back to our theme, we might say we might have to change the layout or put the actual page, the home page, on an actual menu. So like, for example, pages, page list top. Okay, so this will say that the page list is on the top. So maybe if we come in here, nope, still nothing. And maybe it's the theme. Maybe the theme just doesn't like. Oops. I'm honestly not going to spend too much time looking into this because that's not what this video is about. But I'm curious now. Settings, theme. I have used this platform before, but I don't remember. It's been a while. I will admit it has been definitely a long time since I've used it. So we're gonna do. This is how the page body is kind of set up. So featured post, blog post, popular post, and then I feel like there's supposed to be a sidebar. Oh, there it is. Sidebar top. Oh, add a gadget. Pages. Display a list of standalone pages on your blog. Yep. So this is the home page. And I guess we could say pages. Probably a better way to do that, but great. So then view blog. Ooh. That does not look good. So out of the box, you're already going to run into some issues with Blogger. This is kind of a live demo, I guess. And maybe there are better ways to do this stuff. Like maybe if we move it under the About Us, maybe that helps. Do I have to save that? Oh, there we go. There's a little save button here. Sneaky. Nope, still looks pretty bad. What if we move it down here? Save that. Alright, that looks better. So yeah, just note to keep if you want to use Blogger. You kind of have to play around with that a little bit. And then you have your pages section, and then like you have all your pages listed out there. So if we made another page, we called it new page, we'll say, let's call this one about the world. Hello world. We're just gonna call it hello world, or we're just gonna say hello world there. Easy peasy. And then we come in here, we refresh. Oh no, it doesn't show it. The reason is because we didn't add it to that layout component. So we got to come in here and say, all right, now I want to add a new item to that. And so now we do have another home page, which is kind of interesting. But we're going to say about the world is going to go in here. And then we're going to also add that other home page. Oh, that's the home page we created. So home is just like a regular home. It's the pre-generated kind of home page that Blogger gives you, which there might be a way to control the content of. I'm not 100% sure. Again, that's not something I want to really dive into this video. But there you go. So you have your home, which is where the blog posts show, and then you have your about the world. Great, hello world. Then you have your home page that we created. And you'll see like little blog posts underneath it as well. So if you want to get started with Blogger, it's there. It works. One of the downsides to Blogger is that it's kind of hard to host a Blogger site somewhere else. So if you don't want Google hosting your site, or if you don't want to put it on Blogspot, you can pay them. I think you can actually pay for a custom domain, but it's always going to be kind of run by Google's system. So that's where WordPress kind of comes in and shines quite a bit more, because WordPress, because it's an open source platform and because it's kind of a standalone system, it can be put on any server as long as it's set up to run WordPress. And a lot of hosting services out there, I mean tons and tons of hosting services out there offer WordPress hosting. Or you can go directly to WordPress's website. Now, full disclosure, I have had a WordPress account for a long time, and I've done so many things with it that I've completely just butchered it. It is probably not where your account would be if you created a new one. Like, for example, this never goes away for me. It never loads my sites anymore, and I have to find another way to do it. So if you do run into this issue, the way around it is, and this is the part where I'm going to blur out some stuff, but the way around it is you click on your little icon for yourself, go to manage blogs, and then you'll eventually find the sites that you actually have. And then here is where you can actually click on this little thing to expand this menu. Again, don't blame WordPress. This is probably just my account being really, really old and broken. But anyway, what you can do here is, if you come in here, you look for this little button over here and you say, I want to register a WordPress.com blog. So what that allows you to do is register a website, and you can choose a domain just like you would in Blogger. You can actually come up with your own domain, and you can choose it, a different, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to call this Villainite Testing. So I want to make a website called Villainite Testing. Now I could, through WordPress, I could potentially look at villanitetesting.com, and it'll be free for the first year, and it'll be awesome because that's just what I wanted. Or if I want it to be free indefinitely, and I'm okay with being villanitetesting.wordpress.com, I just go in here and select the free option here. So you can select a plan, or you can start with a free site. Now, a plan is useful in some cases because obviously you're paying for hosting and you don't have WordPress ads, and that's a big thing. You're not going to have ads on your website. So you can pay $4 a month, or in this case, you can pay annually. So it's $7 a month if you pay monthly, $4 a month if you pay annually, which is not a bad deal. Just $48 a year for a website that you just kind of have running all the time. Great. Or if you're okay with ads, just start with a free website. And it just immediately just builds your website for you, and done. That's it. That's how easy it was. I have a full WordPress site ready to go, ready to stand up. Now here's the issue. I started my blog on Blogger. Now I want to use WordPress because I think it's cool, but how do I do that now that I have everything on Blogger? So you can do an export, an import. So over here, if you go to import, and this is a screen you'll see every once in a while. As WordPress updates, they are fully aware that sometimes people get used to certain layouts, and they're like, all right, well, if you want to use the old version, you can go use the old version. I just kind of force myself to get used to the new stuff. So, I mean, immediately it's already made easy to you. You set up a WordPress site. You could import from another WordPress if you want to switch domains or something, or you just click on Blogger here. So here's where it gets a little complicated though, because you're going to have to find out how to do an export from Blogger. Now, I did look this up earlier, and I hope I remember how to do this, otherwise I won't have to look it up during this video. Alright, so yeah, so you're going to find it here. So if you go to your Blogger, you're here on your account, you see all your posts, you go to settings, and you scroll all the way down to manage blog. Where did that go? There it is. So you can say, all right, I want to back up my content. I believe that's the option you want to use. In fact, here's the best part. I believe this is actually from, yeah. You click this little link. WordPress actually has a document just walking you through the whole thing anyway. So it tells you, all right, here's how you do this. You can link a domain in your WordPress. Okay, that's a whole other thing. Customize. Okay, ignore all that. That's not what I'm looking for. All right, they're just getting into that whole export from Blogger. There we go. So, yep, backup content. Now, when they wrote this, it was probably under a different section, but it is what it is. So now it's under Manage Blog, Backup Content. The content backup includes posts, pages, and comments. Now, if you have anything else you want to back up and move over, you're out of luck, unfortunately. You'd have to do that through another medium. And if anyone really is interested, I'm sure there's services out there that actually offer that kind of service. There's companies out there that offer that kind of service. But all right, so let's download this. So we got our XML, we have our blog. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to WordPress, the new WordPress site we started, and just you can drag it on here if you really want, or you can just click that. I'm going to blur all that out. Where did it go? That's right. All right. We're going to open our blog, and boom, site, original site, site title, villainite, start import. 3 posts, pages, and media files left to import. I probably did one of them already. Give it a minute. It's all really straightforward. I actually really enjoy using WordPress. I've never really had major issues with it. A lot of people talk down about WordPress because it is a free option, but if you run a properly set up WordPress site without putting way too many unnecessary plugins on it, and you don't screw it up by kind of shooting yourself in the foot, WordPress runs wonderfully. And it's fast and it's just easy to use. So looks like it's done. So let's go look at our posts. Boom, already in here. So this is a post, this is like a default post from WordPress, so we're just gonna get rid of that. And it's interesting that it brought the home page in as a post, I think, rather than a page. So that may be something to consider. Very odd. So that may be a little bit of extra work. If you have pages, you have to come in here and say, all right, well, I don't want that to be a post. I want it to be a page. I believe. Also, I just skipped it, but you should do those tutorials. It helps. They definitely help. I believe there is a way to convert a post to a page in WordPress. I've never had to do that before, and there may not be. I may be completely wrong on that, but either way, it's not too hard to move content from one to another. Just at the end of the day, they're using the exact same editor, so you can come in here and say, all right, well, WordPress, I don't want this. I want to grab all my crap, and I'm going to update this page because I want it to be empty, and we're going to delete this, throw it in the trash, pages, add a new page. And just, oh, this is cool. This is a cool little thing they added recently. I just want a blank page. And boom. Done and done. Home page. Publish. Publish. Done and done. So go back to WordPress. Home page is now live. Okay, yeah, so let's go view the page. Site hasn't been launched yet, okay. So that's cool. You can only see it while it's launching or while you're getting it ready. But there's your page. Click on the site title and you can see my blog posts. It's a nice little layout. I actually really like this layout. So that is setting up a WordPress site. It is very straightforward. And I highly recommend doing that if you do use Blogger. Not that I'm talking down about Blogger. I think it's a great platform. There's a lot of uncertainty about it right now, and I honestly would not blame Google if they said, you know what, we don't want to host Blogger anymore, because it really just isn't something that I feel is in their wheelhouse anymore. Google has moved into different directions, and blogging just isn't one of them. granted, you could make the argument that blogging sure should be one of them, because they own YouTube and they own a bunch of other creative platforms, so why not writing? But I know as well as anyone that the literary world is a little bit, I don't want to say frowned upon, just definitely not frowned upon. It's not as popular as the video world or the Picardo world, the art world and things like that. It's a lot harder to get an audience interested in all these words I write when there's no pretty picture. And that is that. If there's any questions at all, please feel free to put on the comments. Any questions you have. I am more than happy to make more videos about this kind of stuff as questions come up. And if you guys want to start diving into different tools that are usable within, let's see here. Let's get back to WordPress. Well, yeah, you can just go to My Sites, and then there's your site. But if you want to dive into some of these plugins, like Jetpack is a really cool tool. I used to use it very heavily, and kind of stopped using it just because what it does just wasn't really necessary for me. But it is really cool on what it can do. A lot of plugins. There's tons and tons and tons of plugins for WordPress. Tons of themes. Oh my God, the themes for WordPress. You can buy themes. If you don't find one you like, you can buy it, or you can watch my other video series, which I might put on the little card here, and you can learn how to make your own theme. So let me know if you have any questions. We'll go over anything in WordPress, anything web related at all. If you have some more questions about HTML or things like that, I'm more than happy. Even SEO. I know that's one topic I might make a video about. And SEO. SEO is always a great topic, and sometimes it's just presented in such a complicated way that doesn't need to be so complicated. But I'm more than happy to talk to anyone about that and teach everyone about that. So anyway, thanks for watching. I know this is a short video, but I wanted to make it it was just for a friend of mine who was kind of in that situation, and I thought, what a great way to help her out, and just make a video and kind of teach a bunch of people, not just her, even though she is special. She's very special. Anyway, thanks for watching, and if there's anything you guys want to know more about, let me know. Otherwise, stay fed, stay hydrated, and stay safe. Bye.